Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another edition of HRD 631, The Adult Learner. Today is Saturday, February 11th, and it's about 10:50 in the morning. Beautiful sunny day, not quite as warm as yesterday for those that are in Maine, but still absolutely gorgeous today. Sitting here in my Zoom room looking outside, I have about, I don't know how many umpteen trees, thousands of pine trees in my backyard, and they're just swaying in the wind, and it's absolutely gorgeous. A few minutes ago, an eagle just went by my window. I mean, it was up higher, but just a fabulous day. So the week starts on Monday, which, as you know, our weeks go from Monday to Sunday. Monday is February 13th. So if you have not participated in discussion forums this week, you still have a couple of days, and I want to thank everybody for their active participation in the discussion forum. These are important. They help us reflect on the materials and also discuss ideas with our classmates. Want a big thanks to Danella for chiming in, and I make comments also, so keep up the good work with that. So let's get to week number 5. Week number 5 to me is a fascinating subject, and it's a subject that's near and dear to my heart, and one that's very important to the understanding of adult learning and adult education. So let's get right to the materials. As you can see, I still have the video in here from last year, spring last year. When you get this announcement, the new one will be inserted because I'm doing it right now. I'm recording it right now. What I'd like you to do is we're going to continue building on. Last week, as you know, was traditional learning theories. And then in this week, we're going to be actually looking at various adult learning theories, models, and frameworks. Noel's work, he's kind of known as the father of andragogy, which is the kind of art and science of teaching adults. And we will talk about that. We'll debate a little bit about that, but he basically came up with 5 assumptions about how adults learn. He added a 6th to that. We're also going to look at McCluskey's theory of margin, and really this is a mathematical equation that helps us understand, do people have the resources to deal with what's on their plate? That's how I always think about it. If you have too much on your plate, if you have a huge amount on your plate and you have the resources, the time, the energy, the money, whatever it might be, the support to deal with it, you'll do okay. But sometimes people don't have that, and there's just too much on your plate. You don't have the resource, you don't have the time, the energy, the money, whatever it might be. And so it explains that whole conundrum of what we have and how adult learners deal with everything on our plate. Then we go to Jarvis's model of adult learning and the adult learning process. All fascinating subjects. I really hope you enjoy this week as much as I enjoy these topics. So let's get right to it. I'd like you to read in the book, chapters 5 and 6, have electronic reserve articles on the pro model, and then optional learning beyond high school. PowerPoint presentation, a video on andragogy, something on McCluskey's theory of margin. I find these videos, both of these, just excellent. And then there's WordPress information in here you can take a look at. By the way, there is no Zoom meeting. Let me just correct that. So as you can see from the previous screen, I had in there an optional Zoom meeting. We have no Zoom meeting this week. Once again, no Zoom meeting this week. I corrected that, and so what you're getting in the announcement is correct. I thought I had taken that out, so I apologize. So we do have an assignment due. It's a very minor assignment, but it's an important one, and I'll get to that down below. But basically, it's you posting your exploration project question. And this is just an opportunity for me to see what your question is that's going to drive the exploration project. And, sometimes my comments are nothing more than this looks great. And other times it's like, this is great, but boy, this could be a doctoral dissertation with what you were looking at. So I tend to have those type of comments, or I might ask some clarifying questions to help you identify exactly what it is that you're looking for. So that is the assignment due. And once again, I'll show you the materials on that and where to submit. So let me go right down to the materials. This week we have the framework, and I'll click on the framework, which basically is a summary of the materials coming up. I give some McCoskey's theory of margin, andragogy, Jarvis's model, chapter 6, a summary of that also. I'll go to the next one so you can see what's here. Brief summaries. Once again, you can take a look at all this material, self-directed. You know, I think in certain ways there's some extra materials in this, but I decided to keep it in. There's a PowerPoint presentation. Don't worry about this. This is something I did back in 2021, and really it's about week number 5 or chapters number 5 and 6. Electronic reserve articles that might make reference to. An advanced organizer for week number 6. And once again, I think we've set the tone. In week number 5, we seem to shift gears and get into what I consider traditional. We're studying adult learning theories, which takes us to some really important topics on transformational learning, experiential learning in week number 6, and then we keep on. We'll discuss embodied learning. It's to me, this part of the course is the meat and potatoes of what we're talking about this entire semester. So for those that want to look over the fence and see what's coming up in week number 6, here's the preview for it. And I did mention once again down here, the exploration projects are due. And then we have in a few weeks the learning reflection paper, and that happens at the end of week number 7. So you have little time on that. Let me go back to week number 5 just to orient you to where we're at. So we just covered all of this, and then I did add a link, exploration questions from previous classes. Come in here. Click on that. There we go. So here, you take a look at these. I think they might give you some ideas on these are actual exploration projects from previous classes. It's a good starting place. Some of them are very simple, like how is the body integral to learning? Some are a little more complicated. How can nurses use critically reflective practice to help with patient education? Married to a nurse. My daughter is a nurse. I've had numerous discussions with them about how do you educate somebody that's under tremendous stress in the hospital. I've done, umpteen workshops on adult learning for nurses, and I still struggle with that question. How do you deal with maybe somebody that is anxious, somebody that's worried, somebody that is going to have surgery, and it's a different thing. Although I've come to realize that anxiety affects a huge amount of students, and this is a big question. So take a look at these. These are just examples from previous classes and students. Might give you a good thing to look at. So that's it for me. If you have any questions this week, please let me know. I know some of you are reaching out to Danella, and I appreciate her efforts. Feel free to reach out to her also. She was in this class probably 2.5 years ago. She is the GA for this program, and she's helping out with the discussion forum. So feel free to reach out to her. She's a wonderful resource and just a wonderful person also. Have a good week, everybody, and I'll see you online.